Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Throwback. This is Throwback Tuesday. So, this is our Tuesday that we do every second Tuesday of the month. And we bring back an old, I hate to say old, how about vintage? A vintage project that is from years and years ago. So, this one that we are bringing back is actually from the 95-96 catalog. So you guys, this is an oldie goldie. So I'm going to show you which one it is, but this is the catalog. So let me just show you which catalog it is. And you guys tell me if you happen to have this catalog, because this is was released almost 30 years ago. And it still feels like it wasn't 30 years ago. And just flipping through these, it's so much fun for me because it just brings me back. And stamping, those of you who've been stamping for a long time, you know that it's changed. Stamping has changed a ton over the years. And, we've kind of changed with it. There have been a lot of different products that have been introduced, a lot of different techniques that have been introduced. And so going back through these old catalogs, it's really fun to look through those and see that. So this is the catalog. So let me just show you. This is it. And this is from 30 years ago, you guys. So you'll have to tell me on the comments if you've got this catalog. So I'm looking through here. Okay, I see the comments up now. So I can see everybody on there. Okay, Kathy and Debbie, hello. Cherie is on. Mary Ann is on. Hello, Diana. Hello, Ellen, Simone. Jeanette, hello. Vicky and Linda, hello Tony and Sally. You guys, it's so good to have you on here. I love seeing your names on here. Thank you for commenting. I know a lot of you are just watching and maybe not commenting, and I know you're there. I know you're on, and it's okay. But I do love to see your names on here. So just give me a wave, just give me a hi, and I would just love to see that. Okay, let's see who else is on. Patricia, hello. Elaine is on. Judy, Teresa, Pam. Hello, all of you guys. Okay, so does anyone have this old catalog? This isn't even the first catalog. My first catalog came out in 1987. It had about 3 pages in it, and that was it. And for those of you who don't know, I started out doing educational stamps, little things for teachers. Great job, good for you, 100%, little happy smiley faces. And so my first catalog was just very simple art like that. So it's been a lot of really fun years and a lot of changes over the years. So when I switch this around, I'll show you the inspiration to this throwback, and then I'll show you what else is on the page because it also brought memories back. So, okay, you guys, who else am I missing here to say hello to? Christine, hello, Sherry, Lori, all of you guys. Thank you so much for being on with me. I love this time of the month. I love being on live with you guys anyway, but I also love the throwbacks because it's really fun to go back through these old catalogs. It kind of ages me a little bit. I mean, to be honest. And, but I know where I was and I know what I was thinking when I, created these images. So it is fun to go back and look. So with that said, I'm going to switch my camera over and then I will go over the throwback and tell you what is included. For those of you who don't know, the throwback is like I said, every second Tuesday of the month. And what we do is we go back through some of these old catalogs and we pull something out, some vintage image. And then of course, I have to revise it because I want it to be used for watercolor. I want it to be user friendly, and, styles have changed a ton. So lots of these old images have tons of lines in it, lots and lots of lines in it. So, to go back and go through here and just revise them a little bit, it's a really good thing. So I do that. So they're throwbacks inspired by older vintage designs. That's basically what it is now. And it's really fun to do that. Also with that, so when you buy that throwback set, which is only good through Thursday. So we release it on Tuesday. It's good until Thursday at midnight. And then it's really gone for good. And then with that, when you buy that throwback set, you get a special gift from us. So another exclusive, it's a little stamp that is yours as a gift for buying that throwback set. Those also are exclusive and those will never come back. So those are only released with the throwback set. And then during that time, because so many of you are collectors of our promo stamps that we have released over the years, some of these are years old, and we are bringing back one of them every month so that those of you who are collectors, you can grab one of these and add it to your collection. So I'm going to show you which one that is too. If you want to see them all, go to artimpressions.com. At the very top, click on the Get Inspired little button. Click that and you'll see the collector's guide. Click that and Joel keeps that updated. So those are all our promo stamps that we've released over the years. These have never been for sale. They have only been used as a promotion. For example, free with a order, free with an order of X amount of dollars, or some show that we have done where we've done a special promotion. So those are available now once a month, and they come out on Throwback Tuesday. So it's a really fun day. It's fun, nostalgic day for me, and it's fun to see how many of you guys have some of these old stamps. Those of you who've been stamping for many years, it's really fun for me to see which ones you guys still have. So let me see here. Okay, I think I have said hello to most of you, so I'm going to switch my camera around so that I can show you what is in this throwback set. Okay, here we go. And this is it. This is the actual set, and it's this little garden bench. And let me show you what the inspiration was for it. And it is from the, like I said, it's from the 95-96 catalog. And even this is nostalgic for me because I hand drew all of these little flowers on here. And, this was before computers, computers and Photoshop and, all of that. And I had to hand draw all of these with my little lighted desk. And, back then you can tell the style. I mean, does this scream the 80s to you guys? It does to me. We had so much of this in the 80s. These bunnies, do you remember these? I do. I remember these so much. This whole style of art was so big in the 80s and kind of carried through to the 90s too. But let me show you where that is. So this is the bench that I'm talking about. This is the one that inspired this new set. And I embellished it a little bit because it's really plain, and I wanted to add some things to it. However, I did leave some space so that you could customize it and you could add more things to it. You could add, you could add more pots, you could add more things that can go here. I gave you 2 sets of things that you could put onto this bench. We're going to do one of these. We're going to do the little boots with the watering can, but I also gave you this little bunny just kind of cuddled up by the pillows, and it will go right onto your bench right here. It'll just fit right on there. So these are interchangeable. You can use either of them with the bench. And then I added the little birdhouse and the little birds on here. And keep in mind, you can always leave things off. So when you're stamping this and you're inking this, because we're using markers, we just ink the areas that we want. So for example, if you want to do this, simpler, maybe you don't want the birdhouse back here. You're just going to ink the basic image. You're just going to leave that off. You're just not going to ink that. And then you go to stamp it, it's going to be just the bench without the birdhouse. So always keep that in mind, that you can ink what you want and also leave off what you don't want. So 2 of these things will be included in here. And then here is the bench, and you can see how many lines I left out of it. There were a lot of lines. This is how back then we showed dimension, because watercolor wasn't what it is now, where we can put shadows in and we can really make this look like a watercolor painting. But back then, this is how we showed dimension, was with these hash marks. And that's what I did. I put these in because I wanted to show that, things progress back to the back, and it gives it a little more depth. So I've done this one. I've done this shelf as a throwback and included things in it. And if I'd have really thought about it, I would have brought these two little mice back because I made them to sit on this bench. So I may do that in the future because they also would be cute on the shelf. So if you've bought the shelf throwback, this has been, I don't know, a few months ago, I did this little shelf with some things that can go on it. And I love that set. I love that set. And I just thought it was so versatile. And these little mice would be so cute on the shelf or on the bench. So if I'd have thought about it, I would have included it in this set. But you know what? There's always time next time. And look at these little cats. This was also one that I made to go onto the shelf or onto the bench. So you know what? There may be some more of this in the future. Okay, here's the other page. So this really brought back memories for me too. And I don't know how many of you have stamps like these. Look at this kitchen, you guys. You know where I was going with this? This was a whole giant stamp right here. This whole kitchen with, I don't know, these little notes on here and this little vintage stove and all of this on here. Look at all the hash lines. You know, just so many hash lines on here. The bathroom, I had a bathroom, you guys. I mean, you know, with the sink and the toothbrushes, the living room, you know, I mean, here's why. It's because this is when I came out with all of these characters. These characters like Maud. You know, this little bench, it was the SKU on it was $12.58. Okay, well, Maud is $12.38. So she's been around forever. And I wanted to put her in a setting. I wanted to put her in a setting. And so I gave her that kitchen, and I don't know what I was thinking. I gave her a bathroom. I mean, she had a bathroom as a backdrop, and I wanted the whole scene. And I just remember that, you know, when I was looking at that page, and just made me laugh out loud because I'm like, here's why I made all those, you know, room sets. And look at this dog that she has. One of these days, you guys, I'm going to bring some of these people back because I had more fun making these characters. And, you know, we kept them current for years and years. These were, you know, they haven't been discontinued. As old as they are, you know, they came out 30 years ago plus. And, you know, we kept them for years and years because people still just loved them. And they were just so much fun with these silly, you know, funny, crazy sayings. You know, and some of these, you know, they all just bring back so many memories for me, you know, back then. So, okay, you guys, so walk down memory lane with me. And here we are with my, my little scenes in the background. So, okay, you guys, does anyone have any of these? I mean, that would just be so fun to know. Tina says, Bonnie, what a great idea. A set with all the older images that could sit on the bench, redesigned in one set. Oh my gosh, that is a great idea. I love that idea. Tina, that's a great idea. Polly says, I have a recent Norm and Edna. Oh, how funny. Is the sled in this catalog? There's a sled. There's a sled too from way back when. How many of you guys... Replying to Kimberly Ann, where in the world is Phil? Oh, I have the shelf tea set and the books. Oh, Suska, I have them all. Tina, wow, you guys, this is great. Thanks for supporting us all these years, you guys. This is just great. I have Maud, love her. She's only been discontinued, you know, like a few years, honestly. We kept her around forever. She was kind of our mascot. We had her for absolutely forever. So anyway, okay, let's get to it. So we're going to get to our project, but here's the bench set. Let me just show you. Here is the little, the gift. Here's our little promo gift that you get with this set. This is the potted cactus. It's Watercolor 0524. And you don't need to order this. This will come with your set. So if you buy this, this is going to come with it as a gift. And it's so cute. This little cactus is just so cute. It would be so cute by this bench, you guys. It would be so cute on here. You could change this all to a Southwest theme and put the little cactus on here. Just be so cute. Here is the collectible promo. This is the birthday cake. Okay, this has been gone for a long time and it's back. This has never been sold. It's just a little promo that we did at one of our shows and we are bringing it back just for 3 days. So those of you who are collecting these, this is an oldie. And you guys, this one is available on the website. So artimpressions.com, you can find all of these right there. They're all available right now on our website. So I'll do a recap of this after we're finished with our project, but we are going to get on with it. And let me just show you what we are going to use in addition to this stamp. The stamp really has almost everything included. And I picked this set. We could have easily have done the other one as well. It's the little bunny with the pillows. So you can see there are 2 of them. See the size difference here? This is the actual size of everything. So this is closer to the original image of the bench. And I left, quite a bit of detail out of the back. I like to be able to put these slats in and make it look more like a wooden bench. You could also make them vertical. So I've got these horizontal slats on here, but you could easily just turn them up like this and make them vertical on the bench, which would also be so cute, really cute. So we're going to add this one. And then, like I said, you could easily put this little bunny sleeping right here on the bench too. That would be so cute. So here's what else we're going to use. And really it's 4 stamps. It's 4 little stamps that we're going to use, and there are so many things that you can use instead of these. So I picked the most common ones because I feel like the most people have these. And if you don't have these, there are things that you can use. Absolutely, things that you can use, and just mix it up, because what's in these pots is just whatever you want them to be. You can use whatever foliage and flowers you want in here. Honestly, it's so easy. So I picked the little vine. You could use either one. I just am prone to the one that is veering over to the left. I don't know why that is, but it's easier for me to use this one. But if you prefer this one, absolutely, you can use that one. You can totally use that one. All right. This is foliage set 4, foliage set 3, and we're using the long grass. So the tall grass here, that's what we're using down here into this little box planter. One of these, and it's this one leaning to the right, this one right here. And then we are going to use in flower set 2, this little floral right here. It just fits in this little pot. It doesn't take up a lot of space, although you could have some big, long stems in here too. That would be really cute. And like I said, there's not any specific thing. And what I'm doing is just giving you an idea of what you can put in here and how you can do it. And then make it your own. Use what you have, use the flowers that you have, the foliages you have, and just make it your own. So this little flower, but see, this one would be cute too. So would these. So would this. Any of these would be cute. The little grass, we're going to use that just in this little pot right here. And so this is from foliage set. This is the very first one. This is kind of the must-have set. This is what we always encourage you to start with if you're new, is the very first foliage set 1 and flower set 1. So we're going to be using that little grass. And that's it. Just these 4 little stamps. Everything else is kind of included in here. And I like doing that because even if it's the same basic outlay of the image, it still changes so much by the colors that you use and the stamps that you use to add to it, your flowers and your foliage. It changes it up so much. It looks totally different just by the foliage and the flowers that you use. So it's okay to put these things in here, and you can also leave them out. So it's kind of like a foundation. It's got the basic images in here so you don't have to position them. And then you can also swap them out or leave them off. Okay, so here's another idea. So I just grabbed these because I just was looking at this and thinking, how cute would this be with a fall theme? And putting some pumpkins on this bench. Would that be so cute? You could also leave both of these pots off and put a whole row of just cute pumpkins that you could turn into jack-o'-lanterns too. Would be so cute. And you could put your little birds up here. I think that would be cute. Change out the colors and make them fall. Even just one pumpkin. You could leave these little pots, make this more of a kind of a dried up branch, and then maybe just some, flowers, just a few little vines of kind of fall flowers. And it would be so cute with these pumpkins. And what is Marianne saying? Marianne, she says, imagine a Christmas scene. You know what, you guys? I'm going to do that tomorrow. That's what I'm going to do on Watercolor Wednesday. I just decided because when I do these now, I see them in all different seasons. That's why I pulled this out, because I think it would be so cute to change out the season in this and make it fall. I would just love that. I think that would be so fun, and just change it out to the oranges and the browns and the reds, and then, make this kind of dried grass under here, and then easily change it to Halloween. Put a few little webs under here, and your smiling jack-o'-lanterns all on this bench. It would be so cute. So this would be a great set to use if you have this one. If you don't, this one also, this would be great to use. And it also has this little foliage in here that would be great in your pot. You could put these apples down here in this little basket, and it could just be the cutest fall theme. You could take these pots off. You could add this pot to the bench, and you could just make it so cute. I also think it would be cute to just make pots all the way across here. Use your small container set, leave this off, and then just add a whole row of these little pots this is from the small container set. You could even just pick one. Any of these are going to work, and just add like 2 more of these, or 3 more if you could just kind of fit them in here. Add 3 more and just fill them up with blooms, all different kinds of foliage and flowers. You could add about 1 or 2 down here as well, and it could just be full of florals. I think that would be so cute. Just such a fun project to do. So I like that it is versatile, and there are a lot of things that you can do with it. This one also would be so cute. You could put this little fox sleeping right here. Instead of that little bunny, you could put, this little dog sleeping on the bench. Probably not the little deer, but you could for sure the cat and the fox and the bunny, and just put them up on here. It would be so cute. Or underneath. They could just be asleep underneath the bench. So you guys, sky's the limit. I'm not kidding you. Sky is the limit. Let your imagination just go crazy. And tomorrow we're going to do another variation, because I just have to. Because I think a Christmas one on it with a snowy bench will be so, so cute. So we're going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to show that to you tomorrow. So you guys, it's going to be so much fun. But for today, we're going to do this little spring one with the florals and little birds on here. So I'm going to zoom in a little closer. Still working on these buttons, you guys. I apologize. I'm still learning. Absolutely. Okay. Thankfully I have Joel in here, who is just makes sure that I'm on track. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I've already pre-stamped it, just for time's sake. It's so easy to do. Literally, you're going to stamp your image and then leave off. Let me show you on here. When you're going to put something on here, I continued the bench across because I feel like it's really cute just by itself with nothing on here. So what you want to do when you're inking it is you just want to leave these 2 lines right here. These little lines right here off from about, probably here to here. So we want to leave these 2 in the front, and then these 2, you don't want to ink those. Just leave them off. And you can see here they are right here and here. And even this one, it came over a little far. It's okay, because we can just wash that out. That's not going to be a problem at all. So if you go a little too far and you kind of encroach on your boots or your watering can, it's okay. We can most of the time just wash that out. Or we'll put a little darker color on these. So that's never an issue. So don't ever worry about that. But these are the only things that you want to leave off when you're adding this or this onto your bench or something else. So you can see you've got lots of room here to add, 3 more pots. And then, 1 or 2 underneath your bench too. That would be really cute. All right, so let's set this aside. What I did was ink them, and you guys, guess what colors? Our 2 colors that we use all the time. So 565 and 969. 565 first, and 969 after that. And then you want to stamp them off twice because these are rubber. And I should mention that because they're throwbacks, and they originally came in rubber, that's how we are releasing them again. So all of the throwbacks are rubber. So when they're rubber, they hold the ink more. So the ink stays onto the rubber, which is why when we're doing things that have a repeat with the watercolor, when things are repeated, so in other words, you're going to stamp it and then you're going to stamp it 1 or 2 more times to create depth. Mostly things like the flowers and the foliage. Those are in rubber because the rubber will hold on to the ink. The thing about the clear is that it is much easier to position. So you can see through it and see exactly where you want to place it onto your bench. So in this case, because it's rubber, you do need a positioner. You need a positioner so that you can get it onto the bench in the right place. Okay? All right, so that's what I did. I left those 2 lines off, and then I used my positioner and stamped in my little accessory set. All right, so let's get this into the correct place in the camera. And we're going to start out. So I've got my number 4 brush, and I've got a number, what is this one? Probably a 1 or a 0. It looks like a 0. So it doesn't, just a small brush will do. A 0 or a 1 will work great. And then I'm using my number 4, and I've got my palette right here. So we're going to start out like we always do, pulling the color out of the lines. This is always just a really good first step, and I really got my brush saturated with the water. And let me just show you this because I know we've got some new people on here. When you're starting out, you want to make sure your brush is really saturated with the water, okay? And then you want to pinch it off quite a bit. You want to pinch it off so that your brush is flat. See how flat it is? Let me put it against the background here. See how flat that is? You want to pinch it off until it's flat. You don't want too much water. After this, it never goes into the water past the tip. It never goes in the water past the tip. Never, ever the whole brush, and never into the metal. Never, never into the metal because it's too much water. So when you add water now to your brush, you're just dipping the tip and pinching it off. That's the process. And if you don't do that, you're going to get too much water onto your canvas. And then what happens is you just you lose your lines. You lose the lines completely. So we don't want to do that. So we're just adding a little bit. We're just adding a tiny bit, just the tip, and then pinching it off, just like this. Okay? All right, now that we've got that done, we're going to just start out. We can just start out at the top, underneath the eaves, because that's always a really good place to start. And I'm just pulling this color out. This part of the roof back here, that's going to be a little bit darker. This is kind of going back into the background here. This will be the shady side, and so will this part. You want to stay in each section, so we don't ever want to cross any lines. Never want to cross any lines. This inside here where this little opening is, that's going to be dark. Okay, as far as the birds go, we don't really have to do too much here. Maybe just a little line where their bellies are. That will be the darkest area. Just like this. And then, you know, this little vine, which I just love this thing. I absolutely love it because, again, for different seasons. It's already included into your pot. So you can either, you know, take it out or leave it. You could just not ink this, and you could just fill this with flowers and foliage and all of that too. But I really love it. I love how it kind of twists around, and I think it's great for other seasons, you know, Christmas or especially fall. Now, when it comes to the pots, you guys, these are curved. So these are contours, and that just means that the lightest part is in the middle. The darkest areas are going to be on the sides, like this. So that area right in here is going to be the lightest, and that's what gives us that look of the cylinder look, that makes it look rounded. And if we don't do this, if we don't have it darker on the sides and lighter in the middle, it's flat. It's just going to be flat. So it's really, really important to do that. Inside here, inside the little, you know, arms of the bench, down inside here, this is going to be darker, and down in here. And you know, when you do this, the more that you do this, the more that you'll instantly see where the dark areas are. You just will instantly see it. It just comes with a little bit of practice. These legs that are back in the back, these are darker. They're set back underneath the bench, and so they're going to be darker. We don't have to do a lot with the boots either, because we're going to be adding color to these. And the same with the little watering can. This area underneath the handle, this is going to be the darkest area. And then underneath, as this little top of the watering can, that's going to have just a dark ridge around the bottom. See this part of the handle here? That's also dark. That's also dark. This is light. This, as it goes back into the background, that's darker. And you can see how that just changes everything. And instead of being flat and the same color, this now is set back into the background. Now, when it comes to something like this spout that's coming out of the watering can, and it's going to the side, the light then is going to hit the top of it. And so it's going to be darker on the bottom, even though it's rounded. Even though it's rounded, it's still going to have the shadow on the bottom of it. You see how that makes this the lighter area, and the light coming down is going to hit the top of that. And then of course underneath, this is, you know, underneath any of these things, the little boots, all of this is going to have just a little bit of a shadow underneath there. And this is, you know, these little things, you're going to come across these shapes and these things over and over again, and you're going to do them all the same way. Anything that's a curve or a dome is going to be darker on the sides or on the top. See this little watering can? It's a contour. So the middle has to be lighter than the sides. And you can see how this has just changed already. It's already looking like a three-dimensional image. Just from the way that we pull the colors out. It's so important to pull the colors out the right way. You can't just, you know, pull that color out and just kind of spread it all around. It really, really makes a difference to do it this way. Now with this little box here, this part of it is going back underneath is going to be kind of underneath this bench, and this is the part that's coming forward. So this is going to be the darker side, this side back here. Just like this side of the birdhouse, because it's kind of turned towards the bench. And you can see we've already changed this image just so much, just by these little things that we've done. Okay, now we're ready to go on to the next step, and that is to add the color now. Cheryl says, I'm finally going to watch a throwback live. Cheryl, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Diana says that little tree and vine would be so cute with small Christmas ornaments. That is a great idea. Diana, that's a great idea. Okay, I'm going to do that in my project tomorrow. That is a great idea. So putting a little, she's saying on this little tree, you know, this little branch to hang some little ornaments. How cute would that be? Laura says, good morning, a little late. You know what? You're welcome anytime, Laura. We're just happy to have you here. Debbie, thanks for coming on early. And you know what? We'll catch you on the replay. Gail says, every time I watch your videos, I learn so much. Oh, thanks for sharing. You are so welcome. I'm glad, Gail, because I always want to have something to teach you. That's always on my mind is what am I going to make a point of teaching you today? Sometimes I just repeat myself a lot. But if I do, it's because it's really, really important. It's so important between success and frustration. It really is. Laura says, first time I did this method of pulling out the color, it was like magic. You know what, Laura? It was to me too. That's what started the whole thing. I grabbed a set of rocks, and I grabbed, at the time, it was a Marvy sepia pen, which is the color of dirt. And I inked that, and I just got my brush with water, and I didn't even know what I was doing. It was just an accident. And I pulled that color out of the line, and I thought, oh my word. This is magic. And you know what? All these years later, it still feels like magic to me. It really does. It feels like magic every time I put something together, and I just love sharing it with you guys. I really do. Okay, so let's get to it now. We're going to add some color. So let's start from the top and kind of work our way down. I'm going to use this bright blue, and I love this. This is kind of a new color for me. I haven't used it that much in the past, but I love it. I love this bright blue, and I just think it adds so much. It's 407, and then we're going to add some orange, so 933. I also love this combination of the blue and the orange. I just absolutely love it. And you know, when you're starting a project like this, what I would suggest you do, because sometimes what happens is you're continuing like this, and then you just grab some markers and you start to add color. And really, I would encourage you to think that through. Think about what colors you're going to use. Keep your palette really simple and put your colors onto the palette and just look at it and see what things that you could use that would go really well together. You could also look up color palettes online, spring color palettes, fall color palettes, and kind of pick those colors that go together. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you can grab a color that absolutely clashes with something that you have on here, and it's not, it doesn't just blend together well. It doesn't look like it belongs together, and your eye will just see it and go, oh wow, that's a lot. And you won't like it. And it has nothing to do with the way that you're stamping. Nothing to do with that. It's the color combination that maybe you're using. So take, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 colors. What I've got in here is the orange. I've got the red, the orange, the blue, and then I have the green. So I have the warm green, so the 177. This is 177, and then this one, I should write this number down, is 856. And so I have these basic colors that I'm using, and then in addition, I'm using white. So I have the white background, and I just love these colors together. I think they just go really well. Part of the reason is because they are similar. So the red and the orange are similar to each other. It's not, you know, it's not an orange and a bright pink. It's this orange and red that kind of go together, and so does the blue and the green. Really kind of go together well. So you've got a couple of brights, and then you have more subtle tones with it. And just, you know, look at those colors and then stick to those colors when you're doing something like this. You'll be much more happy with it. It will look a lot more kind of harmonious when you're finished with it. And you'll be happier with it. Sometimes picking the colors is the hardest part of it. It really is. So let's just start with this little birdhouse. And I'm going to take some of this bright blue. And again, I dipped my brush, just the tip, and then pinched it off. And now I'm going to take some of this color, and each section, you're going to do each section one at a time. And you're going to just brush in this color. And I could use my little brush too. You know, the nice thing about these new brushes is the tips on them. The tips are great. They're really fine tips. You can see how sharp that tip is, and so you can do a lot with the number 4, especially if you're starting out. Just get a simple brush, a number 4, and you know, work with that for a while, and you can always add to it. Okay, so I've got my little roof in here, and I'm going to now add in my shadow color. And so my shadow color is my dark blue. So my 565. This one right here. And I'm going to take some of this blue now, and I'm going to just darken this part of the birdhouse on the side because it's in the shadow. So we want to really show that it's in the shadow, and see each section one at a time. Just do one at a time like this. And then we're going to put in our dark shadow that's under the eave here. We're going to just brush this in just like that so we can see that. And then let's go ahead and take the twin tone. This is my brown twin tone, and really darken in this opening right here. This is going to be really, really dark in here. And there will also be just a little dark area underneath that birdhouse. Do you see how that little dark area brings this part of the birdhouse forward? It brings it forward, and it makes it look like the post is underneath in the middle. And especially, you know, dark down in here where this kind of goes back, and up here where this kind of comes together, the little roof kind of comes together. That's going to be really dark too. And then I just, you know what? I added a little line down the middle, and I actually really like that. I think it turned out really cute. So let me just show you what I did here. I just took a pencil. Where is my pencil? Here it is. Took a pencil and just right down the middle, like this birdhouse is just kind of made up of boards, 2 boards, just like that. I think it makes it look a little more rustic and turned out really cute. So I'm going to add just a little bit of brown now to that little perch. And I'm just using the 969. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this and just brush on a little color to that. Okay, and now let's just bring a little of this color up here too, and down in here like that. Now one more step with this little birdhouse, and actually let's just make this line really dark underneath there. One more thing with the birdhouse, when you have a perch that's coming out like this, you want to cast a little shadow just right under it. And it's honestly just a little line that looks like that. And it just casts a little shadow underneath there. And you see how that just brought that little perch out. It just kind of changes everything. Let's get this a little darker in here. Underneath there, and it makes that overhang of the birdhouse come forward like that. It makes it look like this is kind of set back inside. Okay, all right. So now I'm just going to take the bullet tip of that that blue, and I'm going to make a line underneath each one of these little shingles. Okay, so that little birdhouse, that's finished now. So let's keep going. Let's go on to our little birds. And I'm going to add another blue to my palette. So I'm going to use this blue, the 526. You guys, yes, if you would like to win this, absolutely put that in the comments. Just put that in here if you would like to win it. I'm going to give this one away, so for sure. Vicky says, Straight On Stamping has gone through so many changes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I hope I'm inspiring. That is my goal, you guys. I just love that. And I love this medium. I love it. I love stamping. It's such a great aid for people. It's just a little bit of help. And so many people, you know, want to paint. We just love to do it. It's so much fun. And we just need a little help, just a tiny little help. And then it becomes your own work. Dorothy Green says, I'm trying out my first order from Art Impressions, both stamps and dies. Dorothy, welcome. Thank you so much. I hope you'll keep tuning in. There are so many tutorials now. I mean, hundreds of them that you can find, you know, archived either on YouTube or on Facebook. So you will have so much inspiration. And also, you know, if you're new and you haven't joined one of the stamping groups on Facebook, you know, there are 2 Art Impressions stamp groups on Facebook. One is the Art Impressions Way, and one is the Art Impressions Stamp group. And, you know, check those out on Facebook. There is so much inspiration on there. Oh my goodness. These people on the groups are amazing artists, and they have learned so much, and they are so encouraging. So if you haven't joined one of those, or if you're on, Kathy, if you're on, post your link on here. So people can see it, because it is, or both, join both, because they are so great. I love getting on there and just seeing what they're all doing. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of this blue now, and I'm going to add it to these little birds, and I'm going to give them a different colored belly. So I'm only going to put the blue kind of up here on the tops, you know, kind of over here. I want to keep the area where the eye is pretty light. So I'm just going to bring this over so that it's, you know, kind of leave this belly area a little light. And just brush on this blue. It's such a pretty blue. It's just a beautiful spring blue. And I don't know if there's actually birds this color, but do they have to be actually out there? It could be just whimsical and we just make them whatever color we want. That's what I do. Also I do that because I'm not good at realistic things, you guys. I'm just not. And I like things that are whimsical, and I just have a hard time doing realistic things. So, Kim loves that. She loves doing those realistic animals and birds. So I'm thrilled to have her on board. And she just came out with her newest one, her little panda set, and it is just so cute. So cute. But they're happy little creatures, and they're realistic looking. So I just love that. And I'm free then to just do whimsical after whimsical. Oh, it's just so much fun, you guys. Just so much fun. Okay, so we're getting this little bird. If you notice you've got too much water on here or too much color, pinch your brush off. Just keep pinching it off. Your fingers are going to get inky, but you know what? That's just the side effect of it. There's just no way to avoid that because you have to feel how much water is on your brush. You have to feel that because this is the critical part, is the water control. And that's kind of the learning curve of the whole thing, how much water to have on your brush. And so when you're constantly, if you get too much on here, constantly be pulling that color off, pinching it off, and then it's easy to blend. It's easy to blend out, and always start out light. Just start out light. Okay, and I'm just going to get some of this. Maybe I'll just pull off some of this orange from here. And we'll just put it on these little birds, on their bellies. Now, if Kim were on, she could tell you if birds like this actually exist and what they are. So could Kendall, my granddaughter. She could also tell you, Oma, that's a whatever bird. She can also tell when they're flying what they are. And so those of you who are bird lovers, you also know if these are real. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm going to get my twin tone now because you can see we've lost kind of some of the details on here. We need to see their little eyes and their beaks. So we're going to do that with the twin tone. And just a tiny little bit on here. Don't make these little eyes too big. And then the little beaks. And then, that's all. That's all we have to do. And I'm just going to add just a little darker to their little feet on here. And so those are done. All right, so let's go on to the pots and this area in the middle here. So I'm going to take some of this red and some of the blue. And the first thing I'm going to do is get some of this blue in here because half of this pot is going to be white. So we want to get that shadow in. Even if we leave it white, it's not uncolored. It's going to have a shadow of some sort. And that just means that it's going to be darker on the sides. We have to show that it's darker on the sides, even if it's white. So we're going to just add this in, and this pot also is going to be white. So we want to make sure we get a good shadow on this one too. And it just, will automatically kind of do its thing. It will automatically look three-dimensional if you do this. If you just make it darker on the sides, it's just going to automatically work. Like magic. Just like magic. All right, so now let's add the red. We're just going to brush this on. We're going to start out here on the side, on the sides of this little pot like this, as far up kind of as we want to go, and just bring that color over to the center. Like this. Pinch your brush off, and now drag it over. So it's really, really light. It gets lighter as you're going to the middle, until it finally kind of meets in the middle. But you still have that lighter area. I can't tell you how important that is. And then you can apply just a little bit more color to the sides. This is how we apply color to everything like this. It's always the same way. make that color darker on the sides and then drag it over to the center and let it just blend out. You can see how many times I'm pulling that color off my brush. And then I'm going to add another little detail. You guys, guess what it is? It's a stripe. Because I don't know if I can do a pot without a stripe now. Isn't that just so cute? Just so cute. So let's go on to this little pot, and we're going to leave it white. So we're just going to put a little stripe on this one, just right in the middle. And you know, these pots are pretty small, but you still want to kind of have a little bend in that stripe as you're kind of bringing it, you know, from one side to the next. Just a little bit of a bend, so not a straight line, because we want to kind of go with the curve of the little pot. Okay, so what do we need to do next? Let's go on to the boots, and we're going to do these orange. And you know, you guys, of course, you know that you can make these whatever color you want to make them. I just felt like they should be really springy and bright. So I'm using this little brush, and because this has such a nice tip on it, I'm still using my 4, where normally I would have switched to a number 1. And see how this little boot, it's kind of got a little contour here at the top. So I'm going to just try to leave a little highlight here on this little boot right here. And a little bit of a highlight at the top. And then kind of as we come down, we're going to add some more orange in here. And it's, you know, if this color, if it gets a little mixed up with the gray from the stamp, that's okay, because nothing is the exact same color, just one color. Nothing is just one color. It's got a lot of color combinations to it. And so we kind of mix it up with some of these other colors. It's okay. It just makes it look a little more realistic. Okay, we've got these boots in here. So now let's go on to this little watering can, and we're going to take some of this color and we're just going to do the same thing. So this also is a contour. So we're going to brush this color on the sides. Just like this, pinch your brush off, and now drag it to the center. Just drag it over. And let it get lighter and lighter as it gets to the center. And the same here, we're going to apply the color the same way that we pulled the color out of the line. So underneath is where it's going to be the darkest. And we're going to leave that highlight on the very top. And the same with this here too. The little nozzle. It's just going to have a little highlight on the top. And the little, we can just leave the little lid. I'll just leave that white. Maybe we'll just darken this little handle. Now this one, as it comes down, do you see the very top part of it? This is the top part of the handle. So we're just going to leave a little highlight up there. And then down here in this darker area, this is going to be darker. And the same with this part in here. This is just so fun. It's such a fun thing to do. Okay, it's shaping up, you guys, huh? It is shaping up. And I just, you know what, I wanted to put a detail on here, and I already have stripes. So I just made a little heart, kind of right in the center. And to make a little heart, it's a V. It's just a V like this. Just kind of round it out a little bit. That's it. How simple is that? And then let's just go on and make our little dots on the boots. So I just, I've got these little circles and I've just made some little polka dots on the boots. I always think about boots with polka dots. I don't know why that is, but I just do. I don't own any boots that have polka dots, but I just, when I went to do these, I just saw them with polka dots. And of course, they're just fun to make. These would be cute any color. This is something that you could change up every time you make this. And you can make these as big as you want. And they don't have to be perfect. They absolutely do not. We're going to add some white to that when we get to the end of our project. Now we're going to add a little detail to this one. So this little box, and I just made this kind of this little squiggly line, and it just kind of goes like this. I just wanted a little design on it. And so I made this little squiggly line, and then I just kind of colored it in up above. And it's flat, so we don't have to worry about any kind of highlight on here or shadow. This is flat. And you can add something over here. I didn't put anything over on that side. I really didn't think that, I needed to. So I just kind of darkened it with a little more of this blue shadow. Like so. So let's go ahead and get some of this blue in here and get these shadows in. And then we'll add our foliage and our flowers. You can see where all of that little shadow, all those little shadows are going to be, under these little pots, under here. It's probably a little shadow back here. You can just add a little color. Anything that hangs over, like this board on this bench kind of hangs over a little bit, there's going to be a shadow under it. Same with this one. Anything that hangs over is going to have a shadow. See here, this one too. It's just going to have a little shadow. And we don't have to do much with this part of the handle of the watering can. Just left that white. Okay, we are ready to go to our foliage. So let me grab my green, and I'm using the 177 green. And let's start out with this little box down here. And actually, let's just do that other little detail. So I had this other little detail on here where I just kind of put these little dots in like this. Okay, I'm going to use well, let's just start up here. Let's just start up here and work our way down. So I'm going to add just a little bit of brown. Let me just use my little brush here. I'm going to use just a little bit of brown, of this brown from my palette. Let me get it back in the screen here. A little bit of this, and just add a little color to this vine. Just kind of where the largest area of it. These areas that are up here, we're going to have a lot of foliage in there, so we don't need to add too much color, but just mostly this area down in here. All right, and then we're going to take our little leaves. So this little vine. Laura says a small critter would be under the bench would be really cute. Maybe a sleeping cat. Yes, exactly. It will be so cute. Anything underneath. You could add pots down there. You could just put grass down there. Tons of grass. Let's see, pinching the brush. Okay, Ruth Ann, pinching the brush. This is definitely a new lesson for me today. I get sloppy dipping my brush in the water. This technique will make the biggest difference in shadowing and leaving highlights. That's big. It's the little things that make the big difference. That's right, Ruth Ann. That's why I go over it so many times. And that's why I feel like I'm repeating myself so many times, because sometimes it's the littlest thing, like not dipping your brush all the way in the water. That is huge. It's just huge. Only the tip, the very tip, and then you want to pinch it off. How does the orange on the boots not blend with the red? Because it's dry. So you want to make sure that it's dry before you add that other color to it. Good question. Yep, good question. Now, if I were to add any more water to this, for example, if I were to, take a brush now and try to put a shadow on here and drag it across both colors, they're going to bleed together. They're just going to bleed together. So once the boots are dry, and they dry really quickly, everything dries really quickly, then you can add your details to it. Okay. All right. So let's ink this. I'm only inking part of it. So just part of it, just the tip. And then I'm going to use this to continue the branch. That's basically what I'm doing, is I'm going to just kind of stamp this in here and just continue the branch as it's kind of going out. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're stamping, is you're adding to the branch that's already there. So you're not trying to stamp over the top. If you try to stamp this foliage like directly down the middle of this vine, it's just, you're not going to see the foliage, and it's going to just all kind of blend together. So we want to keep it in the light areas. See, like out here where it's white, you want to keep it there because there's a lot of color here. And you don't want to mix that and stamp over the top of it. So that's why this vine has short little branches. They're just short because you want to be able to add to it. Okay? So now this one's kind of turned as it's kind of going down under here. So we can add that to it. You don't have to add a vine to every single branch. You could make it kind of as sparse as you want. You could make it really full, or you could just add a few here and there, and maybe add more florals with it. I think that's all I have to do with that. And now, once that's done, now I can add my water to it, and I'm going to maybe get a little of the brown in here, but not like if I were to stamp right on top of it. That's another really simple, common mistake. And it will make a world of difference. Okay, so now we've blended that all together. We've got our little tree. That's just so cute. And you can kind of drag this color out too. You can drag it out and it just kind of create a little background here. We're going to add some white to this because I just think some little white blooms are just going to be so cute. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add some grasses in here. That's what I did on the original one. I just took my little grass and I'm just going to use the same green. And I'm just going to stamp, just eyeball it and stamp a little bit in this pot. And just kind of drag, out as far as you want to drag it out. So cute. And then this one down here, we're going to use this little vine again, but we're going to change up the color. So I'm going to use this dark green, this 346. It's a really vibrant, kind of a cool green. It's got a lot of blue in it, and it will just kind of mix it up a little bit. And I'm just going to kind of stamp it in here. See what a pretty green that is? And if it stamps over the edge a little bit, that's okay because, a lot of times vines will just hang over the edge. And you can see again, I've just used a little piece of this. I've just used probably not even a half. See where my marker is? Just this part of the tip. Marianne, you could make it a bonsai tree. Yes, you could. That's a great idea. How cute would that be? Tanya, oh, what amazing stamp set. Works so well with all the other garden sets I just bought. Yes, everything is made to work together, you guys. I'm so about that it needs to work with things that you already have. That's why I take the lines out of it, and that's why I redo so many of these because of the size, and to make sure that you can use your flowers and foliages with it, and you can add to this to your collection just like everything else that you have. It should be really easy to use like that. All right, so now we're just going to see the difference in that green. Isn't that just a pretty color? It's such a vibrant green. And you guys, I'm sure there's a plant this color somewhere. Tell me if there is and what it is, because we can just make it up as we go. Just what I do. Okay, so we've got our green in there like that. You could turn it into a peanut tree for Christmas. Oh, that would be so cute. And add a blanket around the bottom. How cute. Julie, that is such a cute idea. And hang a single ornament on it. Wouldn't that be cute? You could just kind of hang that ornament like right over here on the end where it's just kind of hanging down. That'd be so cute. Okay, now as soon as that's dry, we're going to add our little florals in here, but let's just go ahead and do this one while this one's dry. Want to make sure that's dry before we add those florals into it. So I'm going to use a little piece of Post-it tape because I have a long edge here and I'm adding those grasses in and they're growing up and out. So I don't really want to stamp over the edge. When it's something like this that could be hanging over, it doesn't really matter. Ruth Ann, what was the color last used? 346. 346. I love this green. So I'm going to cover this edge. I'm going to cover this edge because I don't want it to come over the top of that. And I'm going to cover the side too. This is where the Post-it tape comes in handy, you guys. Post-it tape. This is a must-have. And look how much is on here. I mean, it's just loaded. And you can use this over and over again. So get this and it'll last you forever. Just last you forever. All right, so we're going to take our long grass, this one, and you know, this one too, we don't need to even use the whole thing. Although I've covered this all off here, I'm going to protect my planter, but I'm still going to just use the very top part of it. And let's go back to our warm green, which is the 177. So I'm just going to ink about half of this and just kind of stamp this in here, just a whole bunch of times. And now let me see where that is if I want to hang over a little bit farther, which maybe we do. Okay, so now we're going to take some water and we're just going to blend this up. We're just going to blend this out and add this water. Not too much, because I still want to see the details and see that it's some wild grass growing out of this planter. So we don't add too much water. Okay, so now that's all we have to do down here for this one. Let me just add a little darker color here onto here. You know, the more times you go over it, the darker that color is. That's why you want to start out with it light and then just gradually add more color to it if you want it to be darker. Let's just, you know what? Let's just do one at the bottom as well. I think that just kind of finishes it off. Okay, so what do we need to do now? Oh, let's do the red flowers. So we're going to do the red. And notice I don't have a ton of red. I mostly have this blue and green. I have a little bit of orange, and then red is a very strong color. So it really should be more of an accent where you just put a little bit of it here and there. In other words, you don't really want equal amounts of every color, especially the brights. You want mostly your greens and blues, your harmonious colors, and then a pop of color. And it will really be vibrant. It'll really pop. It'll make a big difference in your composition. I think I'm going to, actually before we do that, I'm going to get these little birds' bellies just a little brighter. I feel like their little bellies need to be just a little bit more orange. Okay, that looks good. All right, so now let's do these little florals, and they're really tiny, and we're going to use two colors. So we're going to do the foliage. Let's just move this out of the way here. We're going to do the foliage first, and we don't need the whole thing. You know, just maybe about halfway down, and then the flowers. And make sure, you know, these are really small, so you want to make sure you get enough color on here. You know, just go over it a few times so that you're getting enough of that color. And then stamp it one time, really, because it's more of an accent. And then do it again. And do it again. You can use your positioner too, you know, if you're not sure about where these are going, you know, just use your positioner. You can also stamp these without the blooms because they will also be really cute like that. And you can just put as many in as you want. And then just take your tiny brush and add your water. And the water, it just kind of distorts the shape a little bit so that it looks like it's a painting. It doesn't look like it's a stamp. That's the thing about adding the water to it, is that it really, really changes the shape of everything. Okay, what do we need to do? Let's do a little shadow underneath the bench and some sky in the background, and then we'll add our white paint. Okay, so let's do the 526. So let me move this over. And I'm just going to brush in a little bit of a shadow underneath. Now you could add grasses underneath here. You could add some cobblestones, or you can just do a simple shadow underneath here. Just a few lines like this will just do it. Just like that. That's all you need to do. And then see if there's anywhere else. We need to add some more shadows. I think this is probably good, just like this. Okay, there we go. All right, so now let's get our sky in. So we're going to use that 526. Keep it really, really light. Keep your sky really light, just like this. You're kind of just pushing that color around. And you know, when you put that sky in, what it's going to do is going to pop that bench out because it's white. So, you know, it's okay to make that a little bit darker where the bench is. You know, we've got our white birdhouse, you know, where this bench is, you know, we can have that just a little bit lighter. Or a little bit darker. Okay. And then I'm just going to come down on the side of this bench, just like this, just on one side. Okay, that looks good. Let's do one more little detail here. I just put a little heart, and again, just a V. Little heart on there, so cute. And let's go on now to our white paint. So I'm going to move this aside. And let's get our white paint. So I am going to just use my little brush. And let's zoom in here a little bit so you guys can see. And I'm going to use my white paint, and so I'm going to dip my brush, and then I'm going to get a little bit of water in here. And I did this earlier. I added just a little bit of water to it to make sure that it was thin enough. And then I just kind of bring it to the side of the jar like this, and then I can really see the consistency of it. Make sure that, you know, it's still thick enough. If you get it too thin, it's too see-through. It's not going to be dark enough. So you want to get it thick enough that it's dark enough, but you still want to be able to, you know, manage it and move it around. Okay. So we're going to just start by adding our little white blooms into here. And I just, you know, I make sure I put them where it's, you know, there's a lot of color so you can really see it. Aren't these just so cute? I just love doing this. You guys know that. It's like my favorite thing. Ever since I discovered this white paint, I'm just like, where have I been living? Under a rock? How did I not know about this? It's just the best. And I'm going to just put a little highlight just along the edge of this roof too. And then I think maybe I'll just add some little white centers. And when you're putting these centers in, if you kind of make a habit of not putting them all right in the middle, what it does is it kind of turns the flower and makes it look like it's, you know, coming forward or going back a little bit. And it just kind of breaks it up so it doesn't look so, so uniform. And I just, you know, I had to add a few more little dots into these boots. And you know what? Let's just add some white blooms in here. You can always dip your brush. You know, if you notice that your paint, you know, it's just getting too thick, just dip your brush in water, just like this, dip it in water, and then go back over to your paint again. Just like this. And then let's just add some little dots like that. And I think we're good, you guys. I think we've got everything in here. If you notice that maybe your paint was too thin and you can see through it, just go back over it again. Okay, I think that turned out so cute. Now at this point, you want to make sure it's all dry. Make sure it's all dry. So in the meantime, let me just put the lid on my white paint. And here's where you can put in your pencil lines. So I just use a ruler. And when I did mine, I did them horizontal and I just kind of made my way up, you know, from the top. And then, or you can do them like this. You can make them vertical. And if you're making them vertical, I would just start right in the middle, do a center one, and then just move out from to the left and to the right. And then you kind of end up, you know, with one in the center. And you can make it look really rustic. You know, you can make the cracks in it and just make it really, really cute. Tanya says, little details you do at the end are always what takes it over the top. Oh, deserves a frame and a special place on the wall. Thanks, Tanya. That's so nice. You know what? It's the details that are the most fun and it's the most rewarding because you finished it and, you know, you're happy with it. I think that's the biggest thing. And, you know, adding the little the details, it adds that extra little something. It's just the icing on the cake. It really, really makes a difference. I love doing that. So, okay, you know what? We've done the horizontal. So this is the horizontal ones. This is what it looks like. So let me turn this and let's do the vertical and let's just see what it looks like. And then you guys tell me which one is the best. All right. So I'm going to just kind of guess here that I have it in the center. So you're just going to kind of come down all the way. And you can make these boards, you know, just however wide that you want to make them. Whoops, let's get that line all the way here. And let's get this one. I think if they're not all the same, I think that's good. You know, where they're not all exactly uniform. It looks like it's just kind of rustic sitting out in the yard. Okay, cute. All right, let's go this direction. I mean, you could also measure and then you'll get them all the same. But I don't think you have to. I think guessing is good enough. No one's going to look at it and go, "Oh, that didn't make sense." You got some planks that are wider than others. So how cute. And this one I came down a little bit far, so we'll just erase that. Erase that line. And then, if you want to make some little cracks in it, you can do that with your pencil too. So you can make just some extra little lines in it. Just like that, make it a little more rustic. Maybe up here, maybe we just have a little crack in it. Cute. And maybe just another one. Basically what you're doing is you're just putting a little V in it. You're putting a little V in it and you're just making it look like the boards are kind of coming apart. Cute. So I'm just going to take my twin tone and I'm just going to darken these areas. So remember what I said about if a board is coming forward, it's going to have a shadow under it. And putting in the dark is what really, really makes a difference. Let's put these little screws back in, little nails back in. And I think let's just make this dark, the little lid. And just coming in and doing all these tiny little things, it's so fun. Now see this little vine? We could really darken this kind of coming into the pot. See how that makes a difference? Just really cute. Inside these boots like this, we can do that too. Make that really dark. In here where these pots are kind of next to each other, that's going to be darker in here. And then of course inside this little birdhouse. Okay. You know what? We can just make a little crack in the side too. How cute is that? All right, you guys. Sign a date. That is a must. So let me just do that. Sign a date. Always be sure to sign your work. That is just an absolute must. You have to be able to see your progress, and it's encouraging, and it just helps you to just keep going. I'm just going to darken these little, see these little water holes in here. Okay. What do you guys think about this? Be sure to tell me if you would like to win it. I'll be giving it away. And then tomorrow we're going to do a Christmas one. So a snowy winter one, which will just be so, so cute. So this is the throwback. It's available right now on the website for a limited time. And I got to tell you guys, the supply is limited. So if you really must have this set, I would just encourage you to get it right away. Okay, I'm going to switch over now back to my camera so that I can say goodbye to you guys. And let me do just a quick recap. Here is the set. This is the one that is released for May. It is the Garden Bench Set 5900. This is the one. Comes with 3 pieces. So it's got the little garden bench and then the 2 accessory pieces that you can put on the bench. This is the one that we did today with the little boots. And then it's got the little bunny with the little pillow that you can put on there too. So check that out. And I kind of go over the placement. If you came in late, check out the video, and especially in the beginning where we talked about the placement and how to stamp that in there. This is the free gift that you get. This is the little cactus set. And this is free with your throwback. So if you buy your throwback set, this is going to automatically be included in your order. So you will get this as a free gift from us for ordering that throwback. And then the little promo stamp that is available this time for this month and only till Thursday is the birthday cake EF0524. This is available on the website right now. So